In this video, we're going to be using Barrister and Men Cheshire and the Yaqi Raster razor. Stay tuned. Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. We have a lot of things to get to, so please stay with us today. First, we're going to talk about the soap we're using today, a classic scent from Barrister Men. This is Barrister Men Cheshire, and this is, I like on the label, it says right there, tea bergamot patchouli. It is an herbal tea scent. It is in my view, a artisanal classic. This one's probably 8-10 years old. The scent strength is quite good. It's close to strong. It's the far end of medium into entry level of strong, and it's a nice, for me, just an herbal tea sort of scent. Quite stout. The cost on this, $15.19. Now I got this at the Grumatorium, Chisel Face Grumatorium, for $15.19 for 4 ounces, or $3.79 an ounce on our cost chart there, which is a good price. This is a tallow base soap. I don't know what formula. It doesn't have any squiggly lines or anything like that. The consistency on this it's fairly firm. I don't know. This one may have been sitting around a while, but it's fairly firm, and we'll show you the notes for it right there if you're curious as to what exactly the notes are. But this is a very nice scent. Comes in a very nice container, and we look forward to using it today. The razor for today is the Yaqi Raster razor. And if you're thinking you've seen something similar to this, well, here, in my view, is the best Artist Club style razor ever made. The Blackland Razor's Vector. It is sleek. It is good looking. It is a great shaver. And the Yaqi razor here, the Raster, clearly drew inspiration from this one, because it sort of has copied that square post. Let me take this one apart and I'll show it to you. The Vector was the first razor ever to have a square post like this. And the Yaqi has sort of copied that portion of the design. And they've also tried to make a very slim head. Although it is not as slim as the Vector, it's quite close. While I'm loading this, and by the way, this uses Artist Club style blades. Like so, this is a feather professional blade we're going to load up. While I'm loading up, I will put a couple of pictures there for you just to show you the fit and the finish. I can tell you right now, based on fit and finish, you know, it's not equivalent to the Blackland Vector in any way, shape, or form. However, we don't expect those issues to really affect the shave, but fit and finish wise, it's just okay. But again, this is not an expensive razor. This was $31 or $37.50 to my door from Australia. And the main thing we're going to try to do today is just see, does it provide for a decent shave? And I think it will, but is it a Vector killer? I don't know. We shall see. I doubt it. I can tell you right now, based on fit and finish, it is not. And again, it is not exactly the same. There are changes that they've made to this razor, but the design is definitely an inspired design. You can see that the Vector is still more slim. They feel similar in the hand. They've even sort of copied the length of the handle, as you can see right there. So they're similar, but this one is still more sleek, and the fit and finish is definitely better. Of course, it's also a much more expensive razor, and it's machined here in the United States at $200. But we will use this one today. Now later, we'll bring out both of these razors and use them side by side and see how they compare. And then we'll show side by side photos of the fit and finish so you can get an idea about these razors. But there's no question, if not for this razor, the Blackland Vector, which for me is the best single edge Artist Club razor ever produced, there would be no Raster. This has clearly drawn a lot of inspiration from this razor. There's no question about it. However, it's not identical, so we'll make that caveat. And let's get started here. I want to remind everybody, links will be below for both the products. I have lather tutorials, so please take advantage of that. I'm asked almost every day, why don't you show the lather, or where do you get this product? All that information will be below. Hit show more, and you'll see links to everything. I try to provide all that information. It takes a good bit of time to do it, so please take advantage of it. We have our lather bowl here, which is Captain's Choice. Easy for you to say. Captain's Choice Copper Bowl. And we're using the That Darn Raw brush today with the AP Shave Co. Sinbad knot. Beautiful brush. This was knotted by J.R. Reyes, by the way. I haven't mentioned that for a while. He did a beautiful job. And if you have any needs when it comes to restoration of brushes, or having them knotted, you know, seek him out. I'll put his information below. Great guy. I haven't talked to him for a while. Haven't seen him around, but I know he is around, probably busy. And this soap just smells nice. It makes a wonderful lather. I've never had any quality issues with Barrister Man. And I also like the fact, and this isn't mentioned a lot, the Barrister Man soaps are reasonably priced. They're not over, most of them. Every now and then they'll have a special edition that pushes the price a little bit, but most of them are not crazy expensive. And so they've been around for a long time. They've kept their prices reasonable, at least on their classic lines and other things. And I like that personally, because, you know, nobody wants to spend more than they have to. And this is definitely a good quality soap. You can see the hydration there. I could probably even spray on a little bit more water there and just mix it in a little bit. Hope you folks are doing great. Oh, let me announce a winner today before I get too far into the video. The winner for the Barbas giveaway was David Cyril. So David, email me, cdb@imcdb.com. Congratulations and thank you. And David is a Patreon supporter, so he won via those extra Patreon entries. And also I want to announce that there's a brand new patron, that is Benjamin Moran. So, or Moran, I'm sorry, Ben, if I said your name wrong. Thank you, Ben, for your support. I really appreciate it. And as a reminder, Patreon supporters get extra entries depending on their level of support. So that is there. If you please, if you support the channel, try to give you some incentives to do so. And we appreciate all your support. Thank you very much. All right. So let's see how this Raster shaves. Again, the fit and finish, as you could see in those pictures, you know, just okay. It's a very inexpensive razor, so you're not going to expect a ton. But, you know, RazoRock makes their stainless steel razors. And by the way, the head here is like, what is it? Zinc alloy, and the handle is brass. So material-wise, the Vector is the clear winner there. Quite efficient so far in those first strokes. That feels pretty good, to tell you the truth, in terms of the way it shaves. So the head on this is zinc alloy, or pot metal. The handle is brass. The Vector is all stainless steel, so much more durable metal on the Vector. By the way, I want to mention, we have Shane from Blackland coming on Real Talk this coming Friday. So if you have any questions, I'm going to start plugging that right now, so you guys can submit your questions below, and I will ask him what he thinks of this razor, the Raster. Because the Vector is obviously going to be near and dear to Shane's heart. It's his creation. It's really the first razor of its kind to use that square post. It was a really innovative razor. And so I will ask him what he thinks of this Yaqi product. I will say so far, it's shaving well. So there's no problems in terms of the shave. I think what you can say, and what I think you can probably reasonably assume, is the stainless steel is definitely a more durable metal. So you're getting a better quality product just in materials from the Vector. There's no question. But again, you're paying a lot more for it. But you're paying Shane for his research, his design, all the efforts that went into making the razor, all the many times he, you know, had versions of it that didn't quite, you know, hit the mark. And so it costs money to do that. And then you have, you know, others who will come behind and sort of borrow from that design and use inspired designs. Some people say copy. It's not an identical razor. However, they have taken elements and copied elements from the razor, but the razor itself is not an entire copy. It's definitely not a duplicate. But there's no question, if there were no Vector, there wouldn't be a Raster. So for the folks who say, you know, the Raster is just too, excuse me, the Vector is just too expensive, you wouldn't have a Raster without the Vector. So, you know, at least be mindful of the fact that the person who made the design and the innovator paved the way for this razor that I'm using today. So, and I would say the same thing of, like Wolfman, for example. They make their razor, which is a very fine razor. I own two, and I raffled one off for charity for the Cybridge years ago. And the other I ended up trading. It was a magnificent razor. However, for the price, for me, I didn't keep it. Now, I wish, in retrospect, I would have kept one of those, if for no other reason than just to have one. But in terms of the shave, I had other razors that could shave just as well as the Wolfman. However, in craftsmanship, it's pretty much unmatched. It's a true artisanal piece. But in terms of the actual shave, it was a great shaver, but it was not so much so that I kept it. And I have bought razors like the Razor Rock Game Changer and Lupo, which their designs were based off the Wolfman razors, or inspired by, if you will. And I love those razors, and they're much less expensive, and I get great shaves out of them. And so I'm not necessarily against inspired designs, but I do recognize that Wolfman sort of led the way on that. And so I think we do have to give credit, at a minimum, when we're using inspired designs. We need to be mindful and give credit to the people who did that original innovation. And sometimes people who follow the original will make things better over time. Like there was a first of everything. There was a first automobile. Now, here's where Avon will correct me. I think it was the motor wagon or something like that in Germany. If no one else ever borrowed from that original design, we'd still be driving the motor wagon. You know what I mean? And I think we can all agree that we have benefited from the from that first design and the many iterations since to what we're driving today. We have much better products. And so I really do understand the arguments about they copied that, I'm not going to use them. I get that. I really do. But on the other hand, all the products that we're using, or most of them, there was a first. There was a first brush. There was a first soap. There's only one first. And then literally every type of product of its sort that comes after it was inspired by that first. So in this realm, the Vector was sort of the first of its kind, at least in terms of that square post. Now, Yaqi rates this one as 6.6 to 7, out of 10 on aggression, and I would agree with that. I think it's firmly in that above medium range. It's quite efficient, and you are getting some blade feel. Honestly, in terms of the shave, I don't feel anything is off at all. It's quite efficient. It's quite good. The weight is good. Really, no problems there. I think where you can really tell the difference is in that fit and finish. So far, the shave's pretty good, but I think you'll definitely find that if you own a Vector and you look at them side by side, and you look at them closely, and again, we'll use these side by side, you'll quickly see that the Vector is just a much better made razor. And of course, given the price difference, you would have to expect that. So, all right. But I will say the shave so far, very, very nice. No problems with that. I would say this is a good shaver. If you like some efficiency, is it, however, a Vector killer? No, it's not. It's not for me. But it is a good shaver. Respectable shaver. This took about a month to get here. I ordered it in like April 12th, and it arrived about a month later from Australia. I'm not sure why they ship out Australia, so I think they're made in China. But, I don't understand that part of Yaqi's business. But there's no question that the razor so far has been shaving well. So we will not give it any dings on the actual shave. So if you're on a very, very tight budget and you don't think you're ever going to be afford a razor like the Vector, this one might hit the spot. Or maybe if you just don't feel like, spend that kind of money and you're just going to buy one very inexpensive razor and you want an Artist Club style razor, this one might fit the bill for you. Will it last as long as the Vector? Probably not. If you care for it, will it last a long time? Yeah, I would think so, unless you drop it or something like that. It definitely is a decent shaver. I've enjoyed the first two passes with it, so we're not having any problems with the actual shave. One thing you'll notice is the way it loads. The posts are not as pronounced as the Vector. And so again, it's not an exact copy. They've definitely copied some features of the Vector and sort of, you know, did their own sort of take on them, but it's not 100% copy. For sure, they feel different in the hand. Of course, again, the Vector's all stainless, so they're not going to feel exactly the same. But in terms of the way they shave, this is a pretty good shaver. I would say it's not bad at all, at least for those first two passes. But we'll put them side by side and we'll know more when that comes. Okay, that's enough. I could probably use a little more hydration, but that is okay. This is going to be plenty slick enough. Haven't talked much about the soap, but this is again, a good quality classic scent from Barrister & Man. I've been using more Barrister & Man soaps recently and really enjoying them, to be honest with you. I've enjoyed them a lot. For me, the spring and summer scents from Barrister & Man are usually to my liking. The fall scents a little less so. It's dangerous territory for me and Barrister & Man when fall comes around, because that's when they tend to get dark, and I tend not to like them. Now this one here is really hard to describe. It's bright, but you also get that really herbal sort of tea, some patchouli in there, lavender. It comes together nicely. This soap has been around for a long time. It wouldn't be here if it weren't appealing to people. To me, it's a good companion. If you like Seville, and most people do, not all, but most. If you like Seville, I think you might like this scent, because to me, they have sort of a similar DNA, similar sort of herbal, I'm calling it nature to them. But I will say, back to the razor now, good shaver here. I'm not really having any issues with it, so we have to give it its due in terms of it's shaving well. There's no problem so far. I know when I looked, it was out of stock, and people were asking me how I got one because they've been out of stock for a long time. I don't know. I ordered mine on, I believe it was April the 12th. I went to Yaqi's website directly and ordered it from there and got it about a month later. So I don't know how frequently they come in or out of stock, but they just happened to be in stock when I was there because someone asked me to get this one and use it and give my thoughts, and so that's why I am. Do I need it? No, because I had the Vector. But, you know, someone asked me to use it and give my thoughts, and so I will. And it's shaving well, so I really can't air any complaints in the shave. So if that's just your concern, spending the least amount possible to get a great Artist Club style shave with a safety razor, you know, this one might be something to consider. If you're looking for an heirloom piece, lifetime investment sort of thing, one that the fit and finish is much better, then certainly you're going to look to the original innovator, the Blackland Vector. And again, we look forward to having Shane on Friday, and that's going to be earlier. It's going to be 1 hour earlier than normal because Shane has some commitments. It'll be a little bit earlier than normal, but please, if you have questions, I'll put them below. All right. Nice shave today, honestly, with the Raster. The first go was thumbs up. No problems at all with it. Fit and finish it, just okay, but the shave, good, no problem. All right, let me rinse, then we'll come back and into the post. Stay tuned. And all right, we are back in off cam. We did a warm water rinse to remove the soap. We applied the alum, no stinging, so that was a nice smooth shave. Followed that with a cold water rinse and then toweled off with our Lancaster towel before putting on the Thayer's Magic Made by Witches. Today, the first shave with the Yaqi Raster, it was a good shave. Actually, no complaints about the shave. The fit and finish is just, you know, kind of so-so, but the shave with it was quite good. Is it a Vector killer for me? No. But we will use these side by side and see how they shave side by side soon. So stay tuned for that. We use the Barrister & Man Cheshire. If you like Seville, check this one out. You might like it. We used our TDR brush. Going to finish it out with a vintage aftershave today. This is Aqua Velva Frost Lime. You don't see this one very much. I want to thank you all for watching. Had a great shave today. Thank you all. I really appreciate you. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB, reminding you, It's your shave, do it your way, and as always, God bless.